Hello everyone, got a game between the Pryad and HMS Surprise. This is the Pryad speaking. Pryad is on the left, HMS Surprise is on the right. This is game number 2. We actually played it within the same day. And let me pause it, show you what we started with. I'm going to show you my side first. I started with one CV, another one, helicopter one to put in the buildings, and the third CV with this little group of units to take Bravo. Plan was to just put stress on the enemy by capping everything and having a solid recon and defensive line around Delta. Let's see what he started with. CV infantry, MTVs with VDV, BTRAs with probably Spetsnaz, U1 CV, and did he have a second? 2 CVs total start, so I will be getting points at the beginning very quickly compared to him. This map's kind of weird, having 3 2-point sectors on your own side, and let's see what happens. So K-52, much better in terms of capability of doing things than an MI2, but I did not want to spend the points. He can probably see this K-29, we'll see. Probably be able to tell where the CV is. I actually want to see this. I haven't. Okay, there you go. So he saw a helicopter here. He doesn't see it landing. I land on the outside so that they don't know which building I'm going to take. Let's see. As you saw, I have my CV over here. K-29 is CV helicopter, typically. So I capped it. So I have capped all 3, and he has capped 1, so I'm at +6 for a couple seconds at the very start of a game. That's a lot of pressure to put someone else in. And as you can see, he's just doing a holding position, whereas I am definitely just having a really strong front line. Kinda interesting, his CV placement in hotel, nowhere near these areas which are commonly bombed. I use my K-29 as an attack helicopter, and it's gonna get destroyed. Just wanted to see what he had, waste some ammo. He brought a lot of man pads to cover the Tunguska. Tried to keep the Tunguska away from sight by hiding behind buildings so that he doesn't take easy pot shots on it. It's typically a good idea to put at least one squad of something anti-vehicle in this building group, just so that you prevent a quick move through and you'll see whatever's coming. I tried a different position with the CV and Bravo because almost everyone puts it right around this grouping and it gets bombed to crap when people get desperate. So I just wanted to try something different. As you can see, his first purchases are gonna be CVs, whereas mine were planes. I got ASF just to get it out. I probably should have gotten a MiG-BIS, take out that Tunguska immediately, or even helicopter assault into sides of like Gulf or all the way on this side over here. Just go around, try to land. He's doing an interesting idea of bringing a Spetsnaz GRU squad to around over here, and then walking them through instead of using a helicopter. It's a little cheaper, a little bit slower too. 55 points versus 85. I kept VDV here just so that they have control. They can pretty much RPG everything that comes across. They are getting shot up by a SU-122. Pretty decent gun damage, 5, so it'll do 1 to 2 damage every time from when they shoot at a building. I bring up tanks because I have very little fire support and I need to kill that SU-122. So he's killing my BTRDs. Don't really care. They're just there for fire support. As you can see, he kind of forgot about this for a little bit. He's bringing an MI2 to go just recon over here because it's pretty important to know what the enemy is doing. As you can see, I'm already almost at +200, which is a lot of points to be ahead. It gives me a really good position to start. VDV pushing out my GRU. Probably could have brought this MTV to help kill them. I would have probably done that, but he might have been focusing elsewhere. There we go, the Spetsnaz GRU starts moving. I put ZPTU and Shilkas just to protect it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't feel like getting helicopter rushed. Want some defense. This is a good idea. I would have put it probably somewhere here or here, just because it's a front line detector, not so much a back line. So as you can see, he owns a good portion of the map. I'm gonna have to decide where to push, and because of the way that I did it, I'll have a better advantage, because he's pretty split. He has a lot in Echo, which I don't necessarily have to attack unless I really feel like it. Notice that he split all his units. That is gonna help him when he wants to somewhat avoid a bomber. It'll be a little bit more micro-intensive. But it gives him the option to move around a lot and still get certain squads to hit. VDV versus GRU. GRU should almost always win. MiGBIS coming in. Probably gonna try to snipe this squad over here. And we'll see what happens. I also had an MI2 that just got killed over here by a GRU, so I know what's coming, so I brought a BTRD. Let's see. Yep. Fire position. And of course the helicopter lands on it. This time the squad is alive. Thank goodness. Alright, so I brought a BTRD over here because the only path for infantry to come across that isn't recon available on my side are by these buildings, so I brought a VDV squad, cheapest infantry squad I had. MiGBIS protecting that GRU squad, because they would have been in serious trouble. Tunguska trying to get shots off, wasting ammo. Not too much going on. He's kind of just reinforcing his front line, which is a good idea. I probably would have bought a CV for over here at the start, actually, because he just owns this area. Bringing up a tank is a good idea as well. He saw my 72As, so he brought up a bigger tank. Now, I know that there's Spetsnaz here because he has BTR 80As. So I'm not too worried about having vehicles nearby. If it was VDV, I would have lost this 72A a long time ago. As you can see, I don't really unload him just yet. Got other things to do. But I'm doing it. There we go. And it's about almost in time. Almost gonna be perfect. Alright, so got a MiGBIS coming in. Trying to snipe something. I don't see any units yet. Trying to get this GRU squad. Tunguska's gonna have a field day as soon as it turns left, but it turns right. It's a good thing for me. Not much going on elsewhere. MiGBIS is going after a MiGBIS. It's kind of funny. Spetsnaz versus BTRD. He brings in the Morskaya Pekota because it has an RPG. Took 2 rounds to finish it off. GRU squad gets killed pretty easily by these two guys. I'm using the amphibious portion to avoid gunfire and other parts. GRU squad taking heavy damage. I run away because dying to a BTR 90 is not exactly what I want to do right now. Although it looks like it's gonna get killed. We'll see. Yep, gets killed. MiGBIS coming in to kill that BTR 90 for revenge. And it goes down. See, he brings in the CV. It's a good idea. He has this pretty much in lockdown. I would have brought in some cheaper infantry, like VDV. Because 1 or 2 squads, they're better at killing vehicles as they come up. MiGBIS going for this Zalo. Or rather, was the VDV squad. So in order to avoid a MiGBIS, they're really fast. 1,000 kilometers an hour, right? And their turn radius is 500. So the easiest tactic to avoid them is to go perpendicular to the direction of its travel, as fast as you can. The reason why I say that is because in a straight line, it'll be able to do it, but if the target moves just enough off the nose, it can't turn to dive in on it. And so it has to do a pass, and with that pass, you have a really good chance of killing it with your AA, because it is a huge turn radius. So it saw Tunguska, it's trying to fire. And my Eaglet squad misses as well. Oh, 1 life. Not too bad. So I fire, and I went a little bit too short. He takes a beating, but not as bad as the other guy. BTR 90s coming up. I'm bringing up Igla Squad because I know that he has helicopters in his deck for VDV. I think that his deck is very similar to mine, except he uses BTR 80As instead of BTR 90s for his Spetsnaz, and he uses MTVs with VDV instead of 2 BTRD cards of worth of them. I don't think that he has man pads in his deck, although I can check it if I review the deck code. So it seems that I killed his K-52 earlier in the game, probably with this Tunguska using the radar gun. So he sees this Mi-24D, and it's a good thing that he brought out that K-52. My Mi-24D starts derping. I told it to follow that, but it's starts attacking these guys, and I messed up with the micro. I could have had an easy CV snipe. K-52 coming in, it's gonna help him out big time. I bring up the MiG-Bis, trying to get at one of these units. I don't like seeing BTRDs. I bring my Zalo up, and it gets one shot. 72B1. Given the option, I decided to kill the BTR 90 instead of a Spetsnaz squad. Mi-2 coming around in a PD just to scare off some of his units. Almost got that. Not enough. This unit probably could have been brought up to support his Spetsnaz, but he decided not to. I don't know if that gets used later on in the game, because I don't remember. So this Mi-2 sees everything over here. Let's see. Sees a good bunch of vehicles, and it's probably going to get taken out between the K-52 and Mi-8 MTV. Brings up a book, because I'm using a lot of planes, which is a good idea. I'm bringing up an Mi-28 because he has a bunch of vehicles that I am just not killing. A good tactic is also that he turned off the weapon for the anti-air missile, because it's a waste to use it on the Mi-2. This vehicle is 310 km/h versus the Mi-2, which is 220. So you will catch up, you will be able to use your gun if you need to. I see this Tunguska. And now I have made a mistake. I hid the HUD. I couldn't actually see the Tunguska. So I focus fired, missed, and it gets taken down by the Tunguska. The idea was that I actually lost line of sight because of this VDV squad. I brought it back instead of leaving it where it was because I saw all this infantry. That was a mistake on my part, because that would have been a really important kill, as my Mi-28 was supposed to fight it. So I baited him with this because I have an Igla squad, it's fighting it. I luck out that he hits only once. The first one missed. He starts trying to shoot it, fire control, gets some damage, doesn't get to do anything. But the Igla squad told him no. Mi-28 unable to fire with that fire control malfunction. Looking at the units coming into town and fire support available, my units do not have that much of a chance to survive. So, I bring in the MiG-Bis. He starts running away with it, and he gets taken down. The buck probably should have been stopped to try to fire on it, but he doesn't do that. So he's one AA piece down, and he's bringing up a Shilka. Pretty good piece. BRDM-3 takes out my BTRD with VDV, the guys that took out the GRU. So all in all, they paid off more than handsomely. I don't really care. This town fight tried to get the BTRDs to fire on the Spetsnaz, as Spetsnaz don't do much to BTR vehicles. GRU squad get in the north. Big Biz fires the shots. And it gets stunned by the Igla N squad. I lucked out. That was very good for me. So with this tank here, I have to watch out for my small basement, because it could still side shot it and kill it in one hit. And I don't want that to happen, as that is my main AA piece. I bring up a 72A up, and BTR 80A starts shooting at its ass because it revealed it. MiG-Bis takes out a Spetsnaz squad. Igla N trying to get the Mi-24D, missing a couple times. Hits it this time. Trying to get pushed through. McBis around, targeting this, and it gets it. McBis is actually pretty decent at hitting helicopters with its infrared missile. It could fire too if the helicopter doesn't move, so it has a pretty decent chance of doing some good damage, at least 2 to 3 bars out of 10. It's pretty useful. Like this, flying around. Book told it no. I was trying to actually hit that. I bring up another Mi-24D because I need to reinforce quickly, and it'll be able to fire support pretty heavily as he has no AA next to it. Igla N squad out of ammo. It's no good for me. McBis coming in. He moved his boat. Smart. Heavy AA. He really should move it. But things like that, artillery, planes, anything. It's just better off not doing that. Book fires second time, doesn't hit. Rocket flies away. 72A moving up. BRDM-3 circled around. Don't really know why. Maybe trying to look for things. Just taking out the AA piece because the tanks are out of position. I try to position it right back, but move it a little because he still probably has a MiG-BIS or two. So this Yak B is also trying to get going. Now I'm talking with Mike, but I'm probably not going to be able to do it. So all his squads are injured. I have a fresh spot stuff for that Mi-24D. Try to use your helicopters without suiciding them. Those are nice, but fire support against infantry to let you own a town is also very important. Napalm launcher against exposed units is just asking to get wrecked. And I make that mistake pretty often, but you know, stuff happens. He brings in a 72A because he has seen the movement of my 72A. It's a pretty good idea, as he can use a plane to support it later. I see that I've pushed him out over here, and I see a B1 moving up pretty close. I also brought an OSA, and he's moving up to try to hit it. He's blind fire, and he shot here instead of back here, so he didn't mark it. This is why I like to use the attack marker. I have hotkeyed it, and I use it for where I think the enemy unit is, so that I can go use something later to attack that spot, as you saw with the MiG-BIS against the Buck. If he used it, he might have been able to spot that a little bit better and maybe splash damage it. It wouldn't outright kill it, because it'll be shooting for the high explosive shot. It wouldn't be using the AP power, because it's targeting the ground, not a unit. BTR-80A, side shots on BRDM-3. So now I know that it's still there. I mark it again, just in case I want to use something against it. He doesn't really move it, as it's not really that valuable. It's 20 points. It's already earned its keep. Killed a bunch of units. Igla N still needs to get rearmed. They have an Mi-24D. I'm afraid to move Tunguska up because of this B1. OSA moving up instead with its amphibious capability. The B1 should have been moved up to around here to try to hit it, but I also could have just killed it with the infantry squads, which I was being tentative about. So I bring in the MiG-27. The Book has one shot left, and also is off. But the Buck and the Shilka do not miss. MiG-BIS coming in, gonna attack something. My PD runs away. MiG-BIS going after my Mi-2. Nothing really going on over there. So let's show you what I'm talking about. You see that one missile? And two. See its ammo? It's also trained, so it actually does a lot of work. It's a pretty good workhorse for 70 points. It's just that it takes some getting used to do it right. Refueling and rearming. I probably should have turned off the fuel, as this unit doesn't matter if it gets refueled. Took out an Mi-24D, because this is not in range, plus target priority is an Mi-24D over an MTV when it doesn't have sight on your units. The MTV is a very good anti-infantry and light armor vehicle killer, as these 122mm rockets are very strong. Seeing this Su-24M, I move my CV just barely out of the way. Everyone's okay, no damage, and it goes down. So a lot of points for nothing. He sees this Tunguska, and he tries to hit it. Fire says he ran out of line of sight, and it still splash damaged it. MiG-27 moving around, trying to gun run this. Or rather, was trying to gun run it, because I think I wanted to take out this BTR-80A. As I don't see it, it's just flying around aimlessly. I could have actually gun run one of these infantry squads, but it requires control, because after it flies past, it'll do some weird loop that you really got to pay attention to, as it might fly into the air net. I wanted to target this, but he realized it, moved it back. VDV, taking that out. Luckily, the buck did not finish off my plane. That buck has been hitting almost every single shot. It only missed twice, actually, out of 8 rockets so far. Another MiG-Bis coming in, probably for the Shilka. Maybe he had better fire support. I don't think that was worth it in the end, but it kind of kept my guys safe. So it seems like his 5th card of infantry is a Skrezit with possibly VDV. I don't know. Might be more Sky Apakota. Ooh. Another plane goes down. I think it's my MiG-Bis. Possibly the PD. Didn't realize it this time. VDV and that's Skrezit. So his ADA also has... So he doesn't really use the BTR-90s as much as a lot of Russian players do, such as myself. GRU in the BTR-90? It's really just a preference. BTR-90 allows you to have a lot of fire support with your vehicle. VDV squad sees this and is like, nope, shall not pass. Gotta be careful with your AA pieces. I don't even know what it was going after. So because he has so much fire support, I keep my infantry in the back line, because this infantry would force the other infantry of mine to expose himself. So MTV moving up. It got rearmed and refueled. I'm bringing up a CV to counter. As you can see, I am still ahead by just enough to be winning right now. MiG-27 took out the ammo, gets hit by the buck, and takes out that really nasty BTR-80A. It's been doing wonderful work for him. He has a PU, so now my plane use will be very limited, as the PU is a very strong anti-airplane. Rather ASF. So GRU, not enough range with the RPG. If I swapped it with VDV, it would have been better. Which is what I try to do now. So I see this, and this Ural was going in, but this 72B1 really should have fired on the Ural. I don't know why it didn't yet. There you go. He missed. Okay. I lucked out big time, because I needed that resupply. Take a look at all these units. They're really hurting. So he's pushing in with a lot more units. He can bring the vehicles a lot closer. Impuni. Try shooting at that unit. Again, take out another helicopter. He's coming in. Shooting at that. Wonderful. Goes down. Between the two of them. The OSA did a little bit of work too. BDB squad getting wrecked. Here you can see that I'm getting my next push ready, because I know he has a CV there, and I really don't want him to have it, and he's pushing hard here. I'm going to push him hard here. I get fire support units. GRU are really going up close, but they don't want to get close enough that the Spetsnaz has their napalm launcher used, so you try to stay away from the RPG and napalm launcher's range with your vehicles and infantry. that they don't get hit with the maximum effectiveness of that unit. As you can see, the grenade launcher is super effective at stunning units. It also helps that there are a bunch of autocannons. MiG don't have but it misses. More than likely, he did not have line of sight, and so he had to tell it what to do. Tunguska, Iglan takes it out, lucky me. Shilka takes out my MI2, that's just reconning for the sake of recon. I move my CV out as I am losing this encounter big time. It's better to keep it alive, as well as the OSA and the Ural. I bring in an anti-helicopter helo just to make sure that nothing happens over here. Spetsnaz is all he has over here, and a Morskaya Pekota. I bring my VDV squad out because he's not really gonna attack this way, and I have this squad of VDV. I lose my T-72A to a B-1, go figure. Su-24M, doing a bombing run. Didn't watch it, and he pretty much avoids it. I actually love my infantry, good job, me. So BRDM-3 versus BRDM-3, I bring my BTR-90 to help out with combat. He has Spetsnaz squads, they're not firing on him because side armor doesn't work out. His BRDM-3 is beating mine, luck of the draw. So BTR-90 goes in front, starts hitting it. He kills my BRDM-3. BTR-90's trying to take that out while I get my infantry to push. He knows that Foxtrot, but he doesn't have a CV there. This BRDM-2U should have moved a little bit earlier, but as it doesn't, I look at my BTR-90s are moving up to better engage in Spetsnaz as their vehicles don't really take much from the home launcher. SC-122s fire support, and my 24V coming around to give anti-air cover, as well as the Tunguska also. If you haven't noticed, it shifted over from the right side of these buildings to the left into the forest cover to provide anti-air cover. The book's in a pretty good position. BTR-88 is moving up. I bring 72A to cover, and I also move my CV towards over here, trying to fast move into here to get into this area. 72A taking shots at the VDV. I try shifting these units around to try to hit other things. And my 8 MTVs coming in. They can really hurt some infantry squads. Trying to just chase out, trying to catch units and just move around. What I should have done is push this forward, which eventually I do. Tunguska taking shots, hitting that with a splash damage. This is why you don't bring in helicopters together. Look at that damage, double kill, 2 rockets. That is not good for him. Hey, Mike. I'm doing a cast of one of the games, HMS Surprise versus myself. This was like a day or two ago. I don't know, this guy plays pretty well. I mean, he has some weird units, but he plays really well. It's all good. So unfortunately I don't take out this BRDM-2 from the city, but I do have a plan to take it out. Mi-24V chasing it. The book should have been turned on and should have attacked this, but it doesn't just yet. All these units trying to take it out, and eventually they will. Just the sheer amount of firepower, autocannons, all that. Mi-27, I'm going to show you my perspective. I see it, he sees that, he goes in, plane close, dives under, and bam. It's pretty good use of the amphibious ability, but Spetsnaz GRU were lined up to see it. Taking shots, and my plane escapes. Lucky me. Worked out really well in my favor. As you can see, that 214 point lead that I had at the very start of the game, it has been crucial to my staying in this game. BTR-90 coming in, killing the resupply, 72A doing absolutely nothing. And now it's pretty much useless. This BTR-90 should have been moving around after seeing that, but he probably was really busy with what I did in Feder. I don't know if you noticed, but this UAZ was about to cross this way, towards here, and go across, so this 72B1 would have fired on it. I noticed it just in the nick of time and brought it over to the safer area. This BTR 90 squad was actually going to go into Echo, but I recognized the threat and didn't want to lose my UAZ, so I brought it over to Bravo. Also bringing out an Mi-28 because I wanted to kill that vehicle really badly, as my planes were being repaired or knocked out. The only units left over here are mostly anti-infantry and light vehicles, so if I had a tank I would have been able to push really well. So I'll move it, spreading out my units, bringing my AA up so that I don't get helicopter rushed, as this guy has a bunch of helicopters in his deck. I see that he killed the Shilka, so eventually I replace it. His infantry over here doing absolutely nothing, he hasn't even capped it. BTR 90 taking out SU-122s. Go figure. His Mi-2 is reconning all around this area, that's pretty good use. My Ural I used to try to spot infantry that would go nearby. This BTR 90 could have been used really effectively to just pass through and fast move into my base, but he didn't try it. I lucked out. Would have been a pretty annoying threat. Spetsnaz is walking through open field. They shouldn't be too afraid as they have a lot of arms. Look at that, poor guys. Su-24M trying to bomb something. Trying to bomb the normal path where people put CVs. I lose my plane and I do absolutely nothing. Look at that. That was a pretty good CV spot, I never even noticed it. I don't think I even spot him during the whole game. Shilka coming in, Mi-28. This squad handling that BTR 90. I moved the T-72A down because it was ineffective up at this ridge. New CV getting called out. I don't exactly know why. Possibly to go to Foxtrot. Yeah, probably Foxtrot, as he controls it pretty well. Although he has no AA. But I have used all my Mi-24Ds. So I don't have too many infantry squads over here. I'm trying to bring them up to cover. BTR 90's shredding my vehicles. Su-24M coming in, trying to bomb something. Hey look, he's doing the same thing that I did. Mi-28 takes out that 72A. 24M trying to bomb where the people who normally place a CV. That was interesting. It actually and it's a complete miss because the CV's not there. So the two of us did the same kind of idea and we both failed with it miserably. Pretty funny if you ask me. And the damn plane falls right on top of a VDV squad. I wondered why it was at 9. Shilka trying to kill this Mi-28 and I miss with an 82% hit rate. So as it's firing I tell it to land to try to break line of sight, and eventually it does, although it's spinning out of control. That is pretty crazy. I think the G-forces alone would have probably made a good reason. And the Shilka finishes off the helicopter because it did not land. I see this, and I'm like, oh man, I really gotta kill them. I am in the lead, and currently I am winning. So if the game were to end immediately, I would have won at this point. But I see that, I see the threat, he's gonna stop the point advantage. It's been pretty stable over here, just a prod or two by me. I'm reinforcing with more Igla squads, because I don't want any helicopters coming nearby. I cannot see that, as it's behind the building. See? And he cannot see what I have, as it's all behind buildings as well. We're Sky Pilota, trying to hold the line. I see the Mi-24D. My Igla N is trying to get close because there's nothing to fire on my Igla N. Misses the first shot. And he notices, and so he runs away with it. So I was getting shot at by the Spetsnaz, and I think that I MiG-27 takes out the vehicle. ATRG is the Spetsnaz, and so they fight. Spetsnaz is the compound stuff. Not anymore. MiG-27's still around. It's gonna gun run something. But the bait was really strong. ammo's almost out. That's crazy. Big 27, getting fired at by and misses the second time again. BTRD, lucky me. I'm moving up this more Sky Pakota with BTRD up. I don't think people give the BTRD enough credit. It has a really strong machine gun, that quad PKT. It has very good suppression and rate of fire. You will see that as it moves up, it will be the one to first encounter the CV, and it will be doing damage, and it won't be taking much. 72A shoots at this instead of the more Sky Pakota, most likely because the line of sight blocks. Visibility issues. I told these guys to attack move, and so they stop the fire. BTRD's firing. He notices, he moves it. I tell the squad to actually move into the buildings immediately, because this is really important for me to take him out, so that I can get an even greater lead. I'm also advancing over here, trying to make headway. BTR 90 with his Spetsnaz GRU, more than enough to go suppress a bunch of units. BTRD has already done 2 kills out of that 5-man squad. Moving up, trying to do more. More Sky Pakota fighting the Spetsnaz. BTRD firing. I told the more Sky Pakota to focus on that. He used an Mi-28 to kill him. Sky Pakota focusing that takes him out. I'm moving up as well with VDV. Trying to finish off all the infantry I can find. Take a look at that more Sky Pakota. 7 versus 6. The Spetsnaz really should have moved in. More Sky Pakota should be dead really soon. Mi-28, for some reason not using its S13 122mm rocket pods. Moving over. Just not really much in the way. He's probably microing over here more than over here. Didn't recognize the threat. And so what's really funny is that the Spetsnaz squad dies to the Moskaya Pakota. Seeing that I'm kind of pushing him everywhere, I'm BTR 90s in. But his 72As proved more than enough to tell my guys to screw off. And unfortunately, I filled in Spetsnaz and I did not realize that. My VDV squad in this building in Delta moving over, so the guys that I called in at the beginning of the game getting to be useful now. 2 Mi-28s coming out. Well, 1 and the other one's using it for defensive purposes. Pretty interesting. This more Sky Pakota squad actually survived against them somehow. So I have a pretty handy advantage right now. And I am not interested in losing it. Tunguska's still alive, almost out of ammo. Not really a concern of mine. 72A loses to the GRU. BTR 90 will also lose to them. So Spetsnaz trying to hit this 72A with weapon jam. I didn't really notice it, so they were wasting their ammo. 72A weapon jam finishes off the poor Sky Pakota. They did such a wonderful job with that BTRD. I'm bringing up another Shilka just in case, because I saw an Mi-28 on the field. I bring one up over here as well. And over here. I don't want to get attacked by helicopters. Also brought up another one by the CV. So every CV got a Shilka or 2 covering it. I bring up the Mi-24V to fight them and scare them away. But what I don't know is that there is a Shilka here. So let's see. See? I see this and I'm like, oh, 2 Mi-28s. Same speed helicopters. I should win because I have the anti-helicopter ability. Or weapon system rather. There's a Shilka and I'm just like, oh shit, you baited me this time. So he takes that out. Or, yeah, it should be taken out. Okay. So his Mi-28's safe and sound, pretty much. But it gave me time to have this line set up and getting ready. He knows that my CV is not over here, and I did not move it when his plane was coming in, so he kind of thinks that it's not over here. So he brings the helicopters in this way. See, I still don't even see the CV over there. That is incredible. So Mi-28's firing against the Shilka to stun it with their 122mm rocket pods. That's the purpose of it. Igla N Squad finishes it off. I don't think he saw the UAZ. I'm pushing in over here, and just complete destruction of the North Squad from 15 to 2 due to the Spetsnaz and the BTR 90 grenades and the 72A. What a bad timing for my poor guys. He defends his hotel against my assault multiple times actually, but he was unable to do so in Foxtrot and Echo and India. MiG-27 just flying around with impunity. His MiG-27 starts gun running mine as mine flies away. Nothing else really exciting going on. And it's game over. There you have it, the second game. He played pretty well. I just think that his unit mix with the vehicles could be a little bit different to help him out, make him a little bit cheaper. As his frontline infantry, they're all above 30 points. That's really hard to play with. But yeah, there you have it. Game number 2 against him, and I still think that he did pretty well.